Hey guys, it's me again, Marcello, here at Shiralee Organic Meats, and we are talking Christmas leftovers. So we did a video already with turkey leftovers, making a delicious turkey curry, which you can check out in our YouTube channel. Today we're talking about leftover ham. So, everyone's always got a little bit of leftovers or a lot of leftovers, and this is a great way to utilize that and to make sure that nothing goes in the bin. So, this recipe today is going to be a Croque Madame, which is a French classic. It's going to be a sourdough bread, topped off with our delicious leftover ham, some cheese, bechamel sauce, and topped off with a fried egg. Can't go wrong, going to be delicious. Make a wonderful breakfast or a lunch, brunch for the next day. And I'll walk you through some of our ingredients. We have some of our leftover ham here, which I've just sliced. You can do thick cut, thin, depending on your preference. I've gone for about half a centimeter thick, but that's also up to you. The cheese I'm using is Garda. Now Garda is a great cheese for melting. So if you're doing any kind of toasties and that, it's a wonderful mild cheese, melts really well. So I'm using that today. We've got some beautiful sourdough bread. Once again, you can use whatever you have in your pantry, but we'll use sourdough today, one of my favorites. We'll need some eggs, good quality eggs, using the ones we sell here at Shiralee. Beautiful pasture-raised free-range eggs. We'll need some butter, a little bit of mustard. Now I'm using mustard Dijon, keeping it French. I like the little bit of spiciness. You can go really hot English mustard is also great, or you can go for something a little bit milder, whole grain. That's also depending on your taste. We'll need a little bit of nutmeg and some mustard powder and a couple of bay leaves, which I got from my garden outside. Those will be for our bechamel, which I'll talk about in a minute. So get those together and I'll see you in the next segment. Okay, so first thing we need to do is make our bechamel sauce. Okay, so I'm just going to add about a tablespoon of butter to the pan, and we're going to start to soften that. So we're making a roux. So we're going to do equal parts of fat and flour. So to that we will add the same amount of flour to butter with a whisk. Use a whisk because we don't want to have any lumps in our flour. And what I'm going to do is just incorporate that. So you can see it's all coming together. Now, based on that, I can see it's a little bit runny. So it will definitely need a little bit more flour. And we're just looking for a paste. We want it to come together. And this is going to help us thicken our sauce. So that should do it. And now we want to cook this for about a minute, just to cook out that raw flour, so that doesn't actually affect our sauce, right? So while this is cooking, I've put on some full-fat milk that I've dropped in a bay leaf, a teaspoon of mustard powder, and a pinch of nutmeg. I brought that up just to a simmer and then turned it off and allowed this to infuse for about 10 to 15 minutes just to get that flavor. So we don't want any color on the roux. We just want to cook out that raw flour flavor. And then what we'll do is we're going to whisk in our milk. You can remove the bay leaf at this stage. I'll just try not pour it in. And just adding it and whisking. It will start to clump in the beginning, which is fine. Just keep going, keep working it, keep whisking. So you'll see now it's already gone all, it looks like scrambled eggs at the moment. That's not a problem. Just keep going. So you'll see that will start to come together. This is how they make choux pastry. You would actually work this like this, and that will be a choux pastry. And then you would add eggs in there to it later. But for us, we just want to keep going past that stage, keep adding your milk, until we get this beautiful velvety creamy sauce. So keep going. You may need a little bit more milk, you may need a little bit less. You just got to go until you're happy with the consistency. Oh, almost lost the bay leaf. There you go. See, this is starting to come together nicely. Here's my bay leaf. I'm just going to get rid of that actually. I'm going to add the rest of that. Then I'll put this to one side. There we go. So now you'll see it's starting to come together. There's no lumps because I've kept whisking it. Now it's nice and smooth. And it's nice and thick. Now, if you leave this on the stove, it will start to thicken further. So just go until you're happy. Obviously, always taste, check the seasoning. We'll add a little bit of salt at this stage now. Now we're going to make this straight away. If you are going to make this sauce in advance and you had some other things you needed to do, put it to one side and just take a little bit of parchment paper and cover the top of it, because otherwise it will form a skin. And then when you try and whisk that again, it'll just incorporate lumps into your sauce and it'll never be smooth again. You'd have to strain it and it'll be a headache. So cover it with a bit of parchment paper and you can keep it to one side and just keep it warm if you're going to use it in the next couple of minutes. So there we go, the sauce is there. So while that's just, I'm going to turn that right down. I'm just going to cook that for about a minute just to make sure that flour is completely cooked out and my sauce is then ready to go. So we'll have to then get our bread toasting. I don't have a toaster here. In fact, I always prefer toasting my bread in a pan. That's just my preference, but obviously toaster, no problem. So I'm going to put a little bit of butter in a pan and I'm going to toast them on both sides and then we'll be ready to start building. Right, so just melted our butter. We'll get a couple of pieces of bread and then just get that in our pan. Put about 5 in here. I've got a nice big pan. Like I say, otherwise do it in your toaster, under your grill. I just find this is a really nice way to toast them. Absorbs a little bit of that butter, which is never a bad thing. This is Christmas at the end of the day, so all about luxury and decadence. So we'll toast that on both sides so they're lightly golden, and then we'll start building. Right, so we've got our bread nicely toasted and we can start to build. So just bring over our bechamel. I've kept this just over the heat and I've kept coming back to it and giving it a bit of a whisk just so it's nice and smooth still and ready to go. Get a little bit of mustard. Depending on how you like it, I just put nice, good bit of mustard on the base. I love mustard, so we're going to go a little bit crazy. Then we're going to take our leftover ham that I've just sliced, like I said. Up to you how thick or thin you want to go. And we'll put a couple of slices on there, like that. And then we'll get our beautiful Garda. See, that's going to melt just wonderfully over there. I'll put a couple of slices just over the top. Once again, one slice, two slices, whatever you fancy at the end of the day. Pop a couple of those over. And then top it off with our beautiful bechamel sauce all over the top. Try and cover right to the edges. That's going to just protect your ham and your bread while it's under the grill. So all over the top, like so. Oh, that's going to be good. Right, so there they are. I've got a tray over here. I've just put a bit of greaseproof paper on the bottom. I'm going to transfer them onto the tray. So do be careful if you are grilling at home under a gas grill, that you will burn your greaseproof paper. So just be careful. I'm using a convection oven that has a fancy grill setting. So that's why I'm just using the parchment paper. But most grills, you can burn your paper. So just be careful with that. And that's it. Pop them under your grill till they're nice and golden brown on top, and the bechamels turn lovely bubbling and golden. You can also, if you really want, you can put some grated cheese on top of that just to really make it unctuous. But trust me, this is going to be delicious. So I'm just going to pop it in the oven. So while that's grilling, I'm just going to start frying off my eggs. Now, that's up to you as well, sunny side up, however you like your eggs fried, sunny side over, that's completely up to you. So under the grill, obviously keep an eye on it, get your eggs frying, and then we'll finish this dish off. Right, so those are just coming out from under the grill. So you can see there, beautiful golden. Eggs are cooked, ready to go. Let's put it together. I've done mine sunny side up. Like I said, completely up to you. Pop those on top. If you want to get real chefy, a little bit of salt to finish. No, I'm kidding. You want it to be seasoned, obviously. And that's it, guys. That is one of the best ways you're going to utilize your leftovers. Take that beautiful glazed ham. Don't throw it in the bin. Make one of these. You're going to be happy as pie. It's a little hot, but I'm not scared. Amazing. One of the best things you'll have this Christmas. Give it a go. Let us know what you think. And Merry Christmas, guys.